He was fearless at all times, truly fearless. To his last moment, he was unafraid, he was not defensive, and there was no hate in his heart. I know that because I've got a little hate compartment in my heart, and I would often express that to Charlie about various people, and he would always say, that's a sad person, that's a broken person, that's a person who needs help, that's a person who needs Jesus. He said that in private, because he meant it. So I guess I would just say this gathering and God's presence, God's very obvious presence in this room, the presence of Jesus, is a reminder of what we've known for 2,000 years, which is any attempt to extinguish the light causes it to burn brighter. Every single time. So as we proceed into whatever comes next, and clearly something's coming next, remember this moment. Remember being in a room with the Holy Spirit humming like a tuning fork. This is the way. Right here. This is the way. And that is what Charlie Kirk was saying underneath it all. And it actually reminds me of my favorite story ever. So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it, and they just go bonkers. They hate it, and they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything is inverted.
Hello guys, welcome to the show. I hope everyone is doing just fine. So there were so many things that went on Charlie's memorial service that I think we are gonna be talking about it for many months, if not years. The speech made by Tucker Carlson drew a lot of critique from people in America and also in Israel. They believe that the speech made by Tucker Carlson was somehow insinuating that maybe Israel had a hand in the death of Charlie. So I want us to watch this other video between Tucker Carlson and Greenwald, where he explained the reasoning behind the speech he gave and why he thought the speech isn't exactly what his critics are insinuating. So I want you guys to listen carefully to what he said, and also leave us your comment in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you guys have to say.
All right, so we covered the insane reaction to that excerpt on last night's show and showed some of the insane organizational statements and condemnations, people calling you a neo-Nazi, the most dangerous anti-Semite ever to appear in American history. And again, these weren't just internet trolls. This was a very coordinated effort. What was that passage? Yeah. What did it mean?
That's the Christian gospel. That's the story of Jesus. That's the kind of cliff notes of the New Testament. So Jesus, basically tells the truth about the authorities, the religious authorities. Jesus is, of course, a Jew. All of his apostles are Jews. Everyone in the story is a Jew, for the record. And but he tells the truth about the people in power. They try to shut him up. They end up torturing him to death to kill him. And then with the hope that that will be the end. And of course, it becomes the world's biggest religion. So I was laughing because I'm speaking, by the way, to a mostly Christian audience who is very familiar with this. And I'm laughing because, of course, you can't shut up the truth. And that's the only point I was making. But what's so interesting about the reaction is that I had no idea it would get that reaction. And I had intentionally, there'd been a lot of drama about me speaking at Turning Point events. And I really love Charlie, for real, as I've said that, and his wife. And so I brought my wife, and I said to her that morning, I was like, man, I'm not going to do anything relating to politics at all. Only going to talk about the Christian message because I don't want to be divisive at a funeral. And I don't honestly think you should be talking about politics at a funeral. It's deeper than that. It's more important than that. So I wanted to be respectful, and I wanted to talk about the thing that Charlie cared about most. And then you get this reaction, and I wasn't on Twitter, but I kept getting texts from people like, oh, they're so mad at you about the hummus or something. Hummus. Since when is hummus Jew? It's an Arab food. I mean, the whole thing is so bonkers. And I love hummus, by the way. And every time I'm in an Arab country, I eat hummus. I guess my point is, it takes a certain kind of mindset to see that as an attack on Jews. So the two groups that immediately assumed I was attacking Jews were anti-Semites and Zionists. Both of them reached the same conclusion, like instantly, oh, he's talking about the Jews. And it just points up a deep truth that we should remember, which is that anti-Semites and Zionists see the world through the same lens. Both of them think everything is about Jews, for different reasons. And that's just not my worldview. I don't think everything's about Jews. Like, I have whole periods of my day where I don't brood about Jews. I mean, it's so crazy. And it's actually the definition of craziness. You like see things that aren't there. If I was trying to make a point about Israel, I would just say it. Why wouldn't I? That's the last thing I intended to do. And I think it's very bad for your soul to become obsessed either because of hate or because of ethno-narcissism. I mean, both are kind of the same thing. They're twins with an ethnic group. It's crazy. Like, I think they're both really sick and need to pull back from this.
So that was really nice. And listen, okay, like Dr. Carlson said, it was a memorial service. It was meant to honor Charlie. And there was no reason for people to be political. There was no reason to bring politics into our memorial service, which is exactly what most people there did, aka Donald Trump. They turned Charlie's memorial service into a Republican, convention or what. They threaten all those who don't agree with them. They pour out their anger and frustration from one speech to another. They were just full with hate, hate, hate. At one point, you ask yourself, is it really, or was all this really done for Charlie or for Donald Trump and his group to feel great about themselves? That's a question one must ask themselves. Isn't a memorial service meant to honor the deceased? Isn't that what it is supposed to be? Is it a campaign rally? Is it a political rally? But then again, that is to be expected from America, isn't it? Because the whole thing is chaotic. So, before we go, I would just like to say that we extend our heartfelt sympathy and condolences to the bereaved family, and we hope that the authorities do their job and render justice to Charlie. So, to you guys out there, after listening to what Dr. Carlson said in this video, what is your take? What do you think? Do you think that his whole remark about people killing Jesus was a finger being pointed at Israel, or maybe Israel's state officials are just so on the age that whatever you say, they just make it all about themselves. What would you say? Share your own thoughts and opinions with us in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. Please like the video, share the video, tell a friend or two about this platform. We are trying our best to get this content in front of a wider audience, and we believe that your help and support will help us achieve this goal way more quick. And we shall be very, very grateful to you. Thank you very, very much.